Okay, we'll take a couple questions. Go ahead.
I just wonder if we can get your reaction to the failure of Silicon Valley Bank and whether you're concerned that other banks may fail as well.
Sure. So the most important thing that I will say here is that our Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary Yellen, is closely tracking the developments with the Silicon Valley Bank. What I will emphasize as well is that our banking system is in a fundamentally different place than it was, a decade ago, and that the reforms that were put into place back then really provide the kind of resilience that we'd like to see. So we have every faith in our regulators. And we can see that today, but Secretary Yellen is closely tracking.
And one more on that same topic. The government obviously insures up to $250,000, but this bank served a lot of tech companies that obviously had a lot more money stored with them. So how concerned are you that we could see a ripple effect just throughout this specific sector?
So two things. One, I'll refer you to the FDIC for how they intend to handle. We know they're insured up to $250,000 and how they'll handle those with balances above that. And the second, I just want to reemphasize that we are in a fundamentally different position. That with the reforms of the global financial crisis of 2007, 2008, we've put in place stress tests and other tools that our regulators have to provide more resilience to our banking system. So, Secretary Yellen is watching this closely. Our regulators, we have every faith that they will be as well.
One for each of you, if you don't mind.
Come on. Which one, Phil?
Directly, you're not escaping me today. You got approach to talk about. But first, just to follow up on Mary's question, I think one thing that's different in the wake of 2008, despite everything that's been put into place in the wake of Dodd-Frank, is interest rate risk is at a level right now that perhaps banks haven't been dealing with for a very long time. Do you feel comfortable that the banking industry writ large is both cognizant of the risk and prepared for it in a different way than maybe SVB was?
So what I would say is that our banking system understands these kinds of heightened risks, and that I have full faith and confidence in our regulators. Secretary Yellen has been in conversation with our regulators, with the Federal Reserve, with the Office of the Comptroller, so that they can be monitoring the situation. And they are very acutely aware of these risks, more than we are, and we have full faith and confidence that they will be tracking. They have better tools than they had in 2008, and the banking sector has more resilience.
And then, Director Young, you mentioned the